My name is Staff Sgt. Ashley Norris, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. On behalf of Colonel James Rossi, the 127th Air Refueling Group Commander, welcome to the Change of Command ceremony for the 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, the 191st Operations Squadron, and the 171st Air Refueling Squadron. We request that all in attendance wear their masks and practice social distancing, as well as silencing all radios and cell phones. At this time, we would like to extend a warm welcome to our honored guests. The Commander of the 127th Wing, Brigadier General Rolf Mammen, the 127th Wing Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Richard Gordon, retired 127th Vice Wing Commander Colonel Stanley Krasovic, retired Deputy Commander of Operations and Stepfather Lieutenant Colonel Brian Amara, Colonel William Ouellette. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Colonel James Rossi, Commander of the 127th Air Refueling Group. The ceremony you're about to see is a time-honored tradition in the military, which visibly assures continuity of command. This is symbolically represented by the unit flag being passed from the outgoing squadron commander to the group commander to the incoming squadron commander. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the arrival of the official party and the national anthem. At ease. At this time, I would like to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Brian Amara's wife, Nicole, son, Caden, daughter, McKenna, and his mother, Pam, as well as Lieutenant Colonel Donald Davenport's wife, Reagan, son, Dylan, son, Devin, daughter, Elise. Thank you all for being here today. You may have your seats. Please allow me to introduce the 127th Air Refueling Group Commander, Colonel James Rossi.
So good morning, everybody. General Mammen, welcome, sir. Chief Gordon, appreciate your taking time out of your busy day to be here and to celebrate these exciting changes that are happening in the Air Refueling Group. Colonel Krasovic, thank you, sir, as well, for being here to recognize the important changes in an organization that you've given so much to. Colonel and Mrs. Ouellette, thank you so much for being here to celebrate an important milestone in your son's career, and welcome back as well. Nicole, Caden, McKenna, thank you for being here. Thanks for loaning your husband and dad to us so he can do the important work that he's doing. And Reagan, Devin, Dylan, Elise, thank you guys as well for being here to celebrate a really important day in your dad's career. And thank you for loaning him to us to do what he does so well on a daily basis. To the commanders and chiefs of the Air Refueling Group today, thank you for celebrating this significant change in the Air Refueling Group. And a big welcome to the men and women of the Air Refueling Group that couldn't be here today. And yes, I said that right. I'm welcoming people who can't be here today. Sounds weird, right? welcoming people that aren't in attendance with us. But I know they're watching. We're going to make sure that they see that they have a very visible notion of what their new leaders are all about and their philosophies. And I'm afraid that this is our new normal, right? Communicating in different ways, in challenging ways, social distancing, mask. But I think what's important to take away from this experience and the way that we're communicating now is that the mission is still getting done. Our mission today is to accomplish a change of command and to put new, competent leaders in place. But whether that mission is a change of command today, fixing or flying airplanes, we're not letting things like this stop us from getting the job done. So we're here to celebrate a leadership change in the Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. Lieutenant Colonel Amara, we didn't give you a whole lot of time to command the Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, just about 2 months, exactly 2 months. And that's not ideal. The men and women of the Aircraft Maintenance Squadron deserve more permanence in their commander than that. But that's not your fault, that's on me. When we moved you to the Aircraft Maintenance Squadron on the 1st of May, we just didn't see the significant opportunities that were going to be presented to us with the unexpected departure of another commander in the Air Refueling Group, which we'll talk about here at the third change of command we're doing this morning. But we really do have to take advantage of this opportunity. So let's talk about how you've led the AMXS and the MXS. And the word that comes to my mind, Brian, is fearlessly. You've commanded with the knowledge that we're only going to wear these uniforms so many days in our life, and then we're going to hang them up and retire. We only have so much time to make a positive difference for our unit, our state, and our nation. And you have made a positive difference, not only to the organizations that you've been entrusted to lead, but those around you as well. Please continue to mentor the men and women of the Air Refueling Group and continue to grow our current and future leaders. And thank you for your leadership, Brian. Lieutenant Colonel Davenport, I'm very excited about what you're going to bring to the table as the newest commander in the 127th Wing. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that you'll do well, given the track record of accomplishment you've had in your career. So as a new commander, I'll offer you a few words of advice. First, learn from those around you. From the men and women of the squadron that know how to do their job better than you and I ever will, the right way. Learn from the other commanders that are part of the Air Refueling Group and the Wing. You're now part of an exclusive club that only the members of that club or former members really understand what it's like to be a part of. You'll be required to address situations that challenge you, some that you can't forecast, some that inspire you, many of which that frustrate you. But all of them will educate you. The dichotomy of command is that while you're growing your unit, there's also significant growth happening in you as well. Lead the people of the AMXS. They're patriotic, professional, competent, and supportive, and they deserve your thoughtful, steady leadership. Accomplish the mission, that's why we're here. Manage your resources so that we can make the most of what the taxpayers entrust us with. And improve the unit for the next generation of leaders that will follow you. Lieutenant Colonel Mara, thank you for what you've done for the AMXS. Lieutenant Colonel Davenport, thank you for what you're about to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Brian Amara.
Thank you. Well, I have to tell you, most of you know I have a sense of humor, so I'll find humor in anything. Sorry about your script. This was the shortest tenure of command that wasn't the result of someone getting relieved, pretty sure. At least I don't think I got relieved for cause, but to the members of AMXS, thank you for your hospitality. And on day one, you let me in, and I never felt like an outsider. I was hoping to be here for a few years instead of less than a few months, but it wasn't to be. You have a great group of personnel, and I am proud to have had the chance to spend a little bit of time with you. I wish you all the best, and I know you are in good hands with Colonel Davenport. To Colonel Davenport, welcome to the 191st AMXS and to your first command. I know you will have the best interests of your airmen as you forge ahead. I know you will lead with integrity and put your airmen ahead of yourself. I look forward to your future successes as a fellow squadron commander. Congratulations. Two people, next two people aren't here, but to Colonel Damascene, thank you for your mentorship, friendship, and the opportunity to lead two of your squadrons. It has been a tremendous honor to serve with you. To Senior Master Sergeant Ryan, who can't be here today, I'm glad for a third opportunity to serve with you as my superintendent, once as your subordinate and now twice as your commander, but all three times a grateful mentee of yours. Colonel Rossi, thank you for the opportunity to continue to lead in the maintenance directorate. There wasn't an intention for me to stay, like you said, here for a short amount of time. However, life happens and opportunities avail themselves in interesting, where are you? There you are, interesting ways. I appreciate your confidence and trust in me, and I look forward to serving with you in my new role. To my family, Nicole, Caden, and McKenna, thank you for putting up with the early nights, the early days, the late nights, and the months gone from home. These long days were numerous but necessary to take care of the men and women to whom I serve. To my parents, thank you for supporting me and my family. Thank you for pushing me into the Guard at 17 years old. And nearly 22 years ago, my stepdad swore me in with my oath of enlistment. And 14 years ago, you swore me in my oath of office. And just 2.5 years ago, you again swore me in with my lieutenant colonel oath. You've always been here for us, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Colonel Rossi will now execute the change of command for the 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. Attention to order. Lieutenant Colonel Brian Amara is hereby relieved from duty as commander of the 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron effective 1 July 2020. Department of the Air Force by special order dated 1 July 2020 assigns Lieutenant Colonel Donald Davenport as commander of the 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron effective 1 July 2020. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor on behalf of Colonel Rossi to present to you Lieutenant Colonel Donald Davenport, Commander 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron.
Thank you. Good morning, all. Brigadier General Mama, Colonel Retired Krasovic, Chief Master Sergeant Gordon, group commanders, fellow squadron commanders, men and women of the 127th Wing, the 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. I also want to welcome my wife, Reagan, my sons, Dylan and Devin, my daughter, Elise, and dear friends and families, those of you who are viewing, thank you for coming. If you don't mind, I'm just going to lower my mask here, just for the sake of speaking. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being a part of this significant event during these unprecedented times. I humbly stand before you today, thankful to our Father in heaven for placing in my heart the desire to serve. I am thankful to my family, my strong, unwavering family, Reagan and the children. It is your love and support that enables me to come to work each day. regardless of the challenges we face. And I'm thankful that you will continue to love and support me as we navigate this new adventure of command. Thank you. I am thankful to our wing and group leadership, Brigadier General Mammon and Colonel Rossi, for trusting me with leading our most precious resource, the airmen of the 127th Wing, specifically the airmen of the 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. I will do my best. I will be intentional and lead with conviction and fervor. I am thankful to those who have commanded before me, Lieutenant Colonel O'Mara and Major Platts. Thank you for laying the foundation for the 191st AMXS. I know you both have worked hard to help shape this organization to what it is today. I look forward to working with you and Lieutenant Colonel Damascene as we take this organization to the next level of excellence. I am thankful to the men and women of the 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. Thank you in advance for welcoming me into your family. I am thankful for your commitment to serving our state and nation. There are many places in this world that you could have taken your gifts, your talents, and ambitions, but you chose to bring them to the 127th Wing, and for that I am grateful. Vision is the rudder that keeps a ship on course. Again, vision is the rudder that keeps a ship on course. Our Air Refueling Group commander, Colonel Rossi, has set that vision. And it's for the 127th Air Refueling Group to be the premier KC-135 unit in the Air Force. It is undoubtedly up to every single one of us to bring that vision into fruition. In the 191st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, we will do this with wisdom, courage, and compassion. From our Airman Basic awaiting training, to our WS-14 superintendent, to me as your squadron commander, we will use our wisdom. I will seek wisdom when working with our senior NCOs to ensure that our strategic and conventional mission requirements are met. Our aircraft mechanic supervisors and our lead crew chiefs will use wisdom when making on-the-spot decisions and working issues at the appropriate level. We will be courageous. When we see that an airman is struggling with his or her personal lives, we will offer some support and let someone know. When we ourselves are struggling and can't seem to shake the feeling of loneliness or failure or despair, regardless of rank or wage grade, we will seek help. Seek help and I will support you. That's what we're here for. We will be courageous. We will lead with compassion, caring for one another, helping each other, mentoring. Earl Graves, founder of Black Enterprise, was asked what the best way to gain a mentor is, and his response was to be a mentor. Oftentimes in our profession, we hear about the lack of mentorship. I charge you, airmen of the 191st AMXS, to be a mentor. We need it now more than ever. And when your time comes to step up, be ready. Be ready. We will help you get there. As I close, when I was writing this, my 7-year-old Dylan reminded me to end with family. End with family, he said. Family is the fabric that lifts up our mission. We can't do this mission without family. Family is the fabric that weathers a storm, whether it's COVID-19 or Super Typhoon U2. Family is the reason Aircraft 62 is on the brink of becoming yet another high flyer from the 127th Wing. My family, your family, our family, this family is the heart of what sustains us, and I am honored to serve it. I cherish the days to come. Thank you.
Sir. Colonel Davenport. Please rise for the departure of the official party. Please be seated. Allow me to introduce the 127th Air Refueling Group Commander, Colonel James Rossi.
Well, thank you again. I know it's hot. I appreciate all your patience here on such a beautiful, beautiful June day. I'm reminded as the heat pounds on us that we've got folks in the desert right now that are experiencing a little more heat than we're experiencing now. Thanks for keeping those folks in your thoughts and prayers for sure. Thank you again for being here. Colonel Osecki, you're about to relinquish command of the OSS. I'd like to thank you for the solid leadership that you've provided to the OSS for just under 2 years. Thanks for accomplishing the mission. Thanks for leading the men and women that support KC-135 operations. Thanks for not being afraid to address tough issues. Thanks for making the squadron better. Mission accomplished, Larry. At the last change of command, I spoke a bit about opportunities. So let's continue that line of thought a bit. As a result of Lieutenant Colonel Volker's unexpected departure, which we'll talk about at the next change of command, we now have the opportunity to broaden the careers of at least 3 solid officers, probably more. Opportunity number 1, we just saw Lieutenant Colonel Davenport take over his first command of the AMXS. Opportunity number 2, for Lieutenant Colonel Amara to broaden his command experience in operations. Of course, Brian knows operations, but he hasn't led ops in any permanent, formal way. Why is this important? To broaden the career of officers. General Mammon says frequently, diversity of counsel, unity of command. What does that mean? It means that if you surround yourself with people that have a diverse background and experience, you'll get better options when confronting challenges as a team. And it'll be easier to present your single unified command to your unit when you consistently present that unit with the wisest courses of actions. Another very important benefit of providing diverse experiences for young officers is that it prepares them better for the challenges that are to come. When I took over as a group commander, I would have been better prepared to represent the majority of the ARG, the maintenance directorate, if I would have had an opportunity to lead a maintenance squadron earlier in my career. So when we have the opportunity to give leaders and future leaders that experience, we really need to take a good, hard look at it. So that's a big part of the rationale for bringing Lieutenant Colonel Amara to operations, to diversify his career. That's what the move will do for you, Brian. But what it'll do for the OSS is to put you in a place with your particular set of skills. And your experience in moving the levers of this bureaucracy and building new levers where those preferred ones don't exist is going to be a real benefit to the men and women of the Operational Support Squadron. And the practical aspect of putting a full-time commander in the OSS as the air operations officer, where the majority of the full-time people are in operations, just makes sense. So Brian, congratulations on this milestone in your career. Please continue to lean forward on those issues that will improve your squadron and your group. And again, Lieutenant Colonel Osecki, congratulations on a fantastic tenure of command with the Operations Support Squadron.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence Osecki.
Well, thank you all for coming. I know it's hot, and I'll keep my remarks short. In many ways, I'm disappointed to leave the OSS. It was my first opportunity to work seriously with an enlisted force that I didn't know much about. As a pilot, you don't get that opportunity very often. It's given me a greater understanding of the world that the enlisted force face every day, how hard they work to make this operation successful. Getting to know a whole different group of people as individuals, their lives, their families, and some of their most personal details was something that I wasn't prepared for, and I relished that experience. It was rewarding in my mind to be able to do things to affect positive change for people, to their lives, to their careers, to be able to get them to a yes, and to help them provide them better tools to make this a reality. I hope the members of the OSS believe what I did was successful, and I left a positive light for them. And I will definitely miss working with everybody there. And I do promise to help Lieutenant Colonel Mara as he takes over in the OSS to transition to the operations side. I have no doubt that he will be highly successful. Thank you.
Colonel Rossi will now execute the change of command for the 191st Operational Support Squadron. Attention to order. Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence Osecki is hereby relieved from duty as commander of the 191st Operations Support Squadron effective 1 July 2020. Department of the Air Force by special order dated 1 July 2020 assigns Lieutenant Colonel Brian Amara as the commander of the 191st Operations Support Squadron effective 1 July 2020. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor on behalf of Colonel Rossi to present to you Lieutenant Colonel Brian Amara, Commander, 191st Operations Support Squadron.
Thank you again. And before I forget, thanks Captain Pomorsky, Major Platts, and Sergeant Norris for setting all this up. I think I'm missing out on a few people, but thank you if you had a hand in setting all this up so quickly. Feels like I just did this. Last week, we did the official AMXS change of command. But that was just a real quick, we need to do this, so thank you for the formal opportunity to address my family again. And to my family, Nicole, Cade, and McKenna, there's still going to be early mornings. There's still going to be long days ahead and late days as I learn my new role and continue to serve the airmen within my charge. The good news is the squadron colors are still the same. We bleed black and gold in our family. To my parents, thank you for your continued support. 6 years ago, I thought our lives came full circle when I took command of the 191st MXS. And I guess I spoke too soon, as now I'm back in ops where my stepdad left off. Colonel Rossi, thank you for the tremendous opportunity to lead within the ops half of the ARG, specifically the 191st OSS. I told you last week I'm going to seek your counsel more often, and we talk to each other about once a day. That's probably going to be more like 4 times a day now, sir. So Colonel Osecki, thank you for your leadership and your friendship. You were always someone I looked up to as a young co-pilot, and I probably never told you that, but it's true. I continue to look to you as a peer and a co-pilot, and I believe the team that you have built is on a trajectory for success. To the members of the 191st OSS, I look forward to the opportunity to serve you. We find ourselves in trying times. We have to set the example. We have to treat each other with respect. We are a team. and as a team, we will work together to help each other. Our goal is to support the Air Refueling Group in its endeavor to be the premier KC-135 unit in the world. We will provide safe, life-saving equipment to our air crew. We will ensure that they have the most current intel. Secure communications provide safe passage, a tactically sound training program, a proper and accurate flight records, and a mission planning cell which will provide our air crew with training opportunities ensuring proficiency and currency. My expectations of you are to be professional, be respectful airmen, hold yourselves accountable, and hold each other accountable. We took an oath of office or enlistment, and I urge you to reread that oath and abide by it and the rules and regulations that govern our professions. Safety. It's a culture we continue to push ourselves towards. And lastly, teamwork. No shop is an island. We all have a part to ensure our air crews return home safely. Thank you.
To Lieutenant Colonel Amara's family, on behalf of the 191st Operational Support Squadron, we welcome you to our unit. Please rise for the departure of the official party. Allow me to introduce the 127th Air Refueling Group Commander, Colonel James Rossi.
Good morning again. Okay, well, tomorrow's day one of what's scheduled to be a 365-day assignment for Lieutenant Colonel Volker. In the continuation of my theme of career opportunities, let's talk about this one. Lieutenant Colonel Volker is about to be General Rogers' executive officer. What's that going to do for her career? Well, it's going to get you out of the Operation Stovepipe that we've kept you in for your entire career. It's time to fix that, by the way. And you're going to be a better officer because of this move. I'm excited for you, Leah, because you'll have, and really already have started to gain, access and visibility to the leadership and issues at the highest level of the Michigan National Guard. To be General Rogers' right-hand person for a year is really an amazing opportunity for you. But I'm also excited about what this is going to do for the visibility that you're going to provide to that level of leadership about the men and women of the Air Refueling Group and the Wing and what an awesome job we do on a daily basis. That's really exciting. In a very real way, in an informal way, you'll be the Wing and Group's representative to the TAG. There's no doubt you'll educate our senior leaders on the mission and capabilities of the Wing and the Group when the subject arises to inform them, again, of how great we are in this group and in this wing. So, Leah, thanks for your incredible work that you've done representing the men and women of the Air Refueling Squadron. Thanks for representing them in such a caring and professional way. Thanks for always ensuring the mission gets done. Thanks for managing your resources and for leaving the unit better than your predecessor left it to you. I was her predecessor, by the way. Lieutenant Colonel Osaki, you've been the commander of the OSS for just under 2 years, and you've proven you can lead a squadron whose mission is to support a flying squadron. Now it's time to lead the actual flying squadron. This will put you at the forefront of the Air Refueling Group's mission, and it'll transition you from a commander of those that support to those that aviate. And I can tell you those are two very different command experiences. And I look forward to working with you in this capacity and watching you bring that excellence to the Air Refueling Squadron. Thank you, Larry, for what you're about to embark upon. I'll offer a couple words of advice for you and really for Lieutenant Colonel Amara. I can tell you from experience that you and Brian won't be able to over-communicate with each other. Please coordinate with each other. Larry, as a commander that has led the squadron that Brian's taken over, and and as a drill status guardsman that understands better than most that we are a traditional guard organization. And Brian, as a commander that's managing the full-time force and operations, supporting the Air Refueling Squadron, and a guy who knows where the levers are, right? When you two put your heads together on an issue, a positive outcome is assured. So, Lieutenant Colonel Volker, we'll see you in 366 days, and job well done. Lieutenant Colonel Osecki, thanks for what you've agreed to do for the squadron, group, and wing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Leah Volker.
Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. I know it's warm, so I'm going to read really fast. But thank you, General Mammon. Thank you, Colonel Krasovic. Thank you, Colonel Rossi, Chief Gordon, for being here today. Thank you for your leadership, your mentorship. Thank you, Captain Pomorsky, and your team for everything that you've done today. It is an honor to serve. It's also an honor of a lifetime to have been the 171st Air Refueling Squadron Commander. Speeches, you're not supposed to cry. Thank you to everyone who has ever sat down to talk with me honestly and openly, especially my family, my friends, my mentors, and fellow unit members. Because I know you're all watching, right? You all helped me to improve. Together, we improved the unit, how we handled our mission, and we each grew from it. Please remember, we all lead. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you believe. Together, we have accomplished much over the past 2 years, and we have all succeeded and failed. In 2008, I think it was day 4 of my command, we were in the middle of a nuclear exercise for the first time on the West Side, building brand new standards, brand new procedures. We trained our bench, our next generation. Many of these folks had never done the nuclear mission before. Shortly after that exercise, we worked on our joint operations and the support of our state with our SPP, Sabre Strike to Latvia. We did several MRAs to Poland, Lithuania, Bulgaria, Northern Strike sorties, and aeromedical support up north, all joint endeavors to support our state, to support our mission. We did several air shows, hurricane support missions. All the while, some of us were deployed to the Pacific, which was hit, as Colonel Davenport knows very, very well, with island evacuating storms back to back. We also participated in our NATO training in Gallakirchen. We tested the Cajun waveform. We rolled into 2019 after all of that and deployed to Kandahar, took the tanker to Kandahar, then right into another NORI when we got back several months later. We supported the Virgin Islands. We did community outreach, Leadership Macomb, ESGR support missions, more MRAs, more business efforts, all while preparing for the big inspection. And we were doing it with innovative training, fast responses during the week while we were here. The highlight of my command, I have to say, and I believe Colonel Osecki, you will agree with this, was in the middle of the nuclear inspection. And you and I were in what's to be your office, and we were looking at each other going, this is going really good. Like, we're trying to stay ahead of everything, right? We were working together as a team, and we were watching our team and everything we had done, and we were just, right, we were at a loss. And we're like, oh man, what do we not know? And sure enough, the exercise ended, right? That's either good, or really bad. And it turns out it ended early because our team, our squadrons, were knocking it out of the park. And that's the whole ARG and the wing and everybody that was supporting that. Pretty sweet highlight for me. Then we rolled into another PACOM and another CENTCOM deployment over about 7 month span. We're in the middle of that right now. And the big thing about this to think about is we're doing it in a COVID environment. The sacrifice and the flexibility that the ARG and the 170 members of the 171st Air Refueling Squadron in particular have shown, I just say that because, right, this is that change of command, but everybody really. The commitment to service is commendable, and I'm humbled and in awe. Colonel Lasecki is no stranger to the squadron, and he has led the OSS with courage and integrity. I look forward to seeing what's next. The advice that I'll leave you with, and I didn't make this up on my own, but I think about it every day, and I want you to think about it too. Take ownership of everything in your life. Build yourself and others around you. Simply lead.
Colonel Rossi will now execute the change of command for the 171st Air Refueling Squadron. Attention to order. Lieutenant Colonel Leah Volker is hereby relieved from duty as commander of the 171st Air Refueling Squadron effective 1 July 2020. Department of the Air Force by special order dated 1 July 2020 assigns Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence Osecki as the commander of the 171st Air Refueling Squadron effective 1 July 2020.
All right, Davenports, you guys have been awesome. To sit here in this heat like this, my kids would be running up and down the aisles. I mean, and the MRs as well. You guys are troopers. I really appreciate you hanging out and putting up with this heat. I want to thank General Mammon, Colonel Rossi, for your confidence in me to take this on. I know it's a big step to have a tradition take the role of the commander of the ARS, and I know that I don't take that lightly. I have a fabulous mentor, friend for many years that did this so well. So expect more phone calls from me. I'm looking forward to this. It's a much different dynamic future than anything I've ever been a part of. I'm taking the reins from a leader who has excelled at every level of her career. She leaves behind a highly functional squadron that is successful at everything it does, from deployments to inspections to our domestic operations, our state partnerships. We are a leader and looked upon in this airframe and in this country. Those are big shoes to fill. I hope to continue her work of excellence, managing our troops, their future. The goal for me, as Colonel Rossi said, is to leave this a better place than when I received it. And that, again, is a tall order. I look forward to working with Brian hand in hand. He's going to be so valuable to the success of this organization as the full-timer. I can't echo any better thoughts that Leah had on teamwork, on caring for our people. I've tried to do that in the OSS, and I hope I continue to do that as the ARS commander. I just ask for your help. Thank you.
Please rise for the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our commanders and their families, thank you for attending today's ceremony. You are all invited to join in our celebration in Hangar 7 for refreshments and snacks. You're dismissed.